Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome YouTube babies to another session of the net preparation series of paper 1 and also paper 2. You are having all those paper 1 revision series. Yes, hello, good evening, Logesh. I can see your message. Yeah, hello, good evening. All YouTube babies, welcome. How are you all? Doing good? How is your studies going on? Just 1 month we have for the exam coming up. NTA net is coming up for the just 1 month we have to study a lot. So we are doing some revisions also. So these revisions will be useful. As you know, like you will get practice to more and more questions. We'll have the marathon revisions coming up. We are going to have, like last time we are going to have some 1,000 midnights children. Okay. So see, like all those revisions will be benefited. It will be beneficial for you. Yeah. Yes, good evening. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you for that. Very good. So can we go to today's? Yeah, you are not getting the exam date actually, but we can expect on January first week, most probably. So that is where we want to plan, like maybe like December last. So then, no, the maybe like January first week. That's what. So can we go with the today's paper one revision session? It is regarding with the research aptitude. It is an important topic that you have with research aptitude. It's a very important topic. You should learn all those types of research sampling, types of variables, the thesis format, citation styles. And the lucky part is that in your paper two also, there is a topic called research methodology. So we'll have revisions on research aptitude, then you will get an idea on both research methodology and research aptitude. Okay, can we look to one by one questions? I can give you some explanations also for the questions. So can we go on to the first question today? The first question is, which of the following is the first step in starting the research process? Very easy one. Searching sources of information to locate problem, identification of problem, searching for solutions to the problem, survey of related literature. So what you can have as the first step in a research process. So steps of research process is very important, guys. Okay. Regarding with the ideas of research, the steps of the research is very much important. So, which is the uh, first step in starting the research process? Question number one. Yeah, I have the answers here. It is an identification of the problem. So, whenever you have a research, the first step is identifying the problem. Then coming to that, we have review of the literature, then theory, then defining the steps, then research design, all those things what we have. Okay. Next one. An investigator wants to study the vocational aspirations of visually challenged in a wide geographical area. He should select his sample by using what? Okay, so an investigator wants to study the vocational aspirations of visually challenged in a wide geographical area. So how we can select the sample? Yeah, sampling is a very important topic, guys. You should learn different types of sampling too. So here are simple random sampling, convenient sampling, stratified sampling, purposive sampling. So which are the types of sampling that you have, or which are the type of sampling that you will use for the selection of a specific no population or a specific sample that you have? Yeah, the answer here is purposive sampling. Can you just quote the other names of purposive sampling? It is actually purposive sampling that we have. The other sampling is deliberate sampling and the judgmental sampling or authoritative sampling. See, guys, here the investigator wants to study the vocational aspirations of visually challenged. Visually challenged. So the researcher will only select visually challenged from the population. See, visually challenged because it's very easy to pick up. So for a purpose, for a certain characteristics only, the researcher will select. That is why when you call it as a purposive sampling. Clear? So different types of sampling. You have purposive sampling. It is a non-probability sampling technique in which units are selected because they have characters that you need in your sample. In other words, units are selected on purpose. Okay. The other names of purposive sampling are judgmental sampling, authoritative sampling, and deliberate sampling. Okay, because you have a predefined criteria or judgment, and then you are selecting. Maybe like you are going to select politically active student leaders in a college or in an institution. So it's very easy that you can only select that person, maybe differently abled one. So you can only select differently abled one. That is purposive sampling. Simple random sampling. it is like a random method that you have. It is a probability method. Everybody have a chance to be part. Like maybe like for an to an unknown class you are going, a teacher is going and then calling out random numbers and then selecting people. That's a simple random sampling. Stratified random sampling, you have researchers divide subjects into subgroups and stratas. Okay, that means, for example, if you want to study about maybe like if you want, if for a company, in a company you want to study about gender discrimination among the employees. So that in a company there are more two types, two genders types, male and female. So what you want to do, you want to divide them into two groups, male and female, and then select from all these groups. That is stratified. Convenience means it is according to the researcher's convenience. What is it? It is like, it is according to the researcher's accessibility. Okay, for example, if you want to study about, maybe like if my study is about a no international topic, I'm going to study about the students in Russia. It is like it will be very costly that I go to Russia and then study about that. So I know some students, some international students studying here in my university. It is very easy that I can select that students to my sample. That is called convenience sampling. Okay. According to the researcher's access and availability, the researcher is selecting a sample. That is what you call as convenience. Okay. Next one. A researcher attempts to evaluate the effect of the method of feeding on anxiety proneness of children. Which method of research would be most appropriate for this? Case study, experimental, ex post facto, and survey method. A researcher attempts to evaluate the effect of the method of feeding on anxiety proneness of children. Which method? Is it case study, experimental, ex post facto, or survey method? So the answer, guys, is ex post facto method. So we can go to the explanations. Ex post facto is known as after the fact. Okay, so that means you have independent some variables or dependent variable. After the fact, you go and find the research. Okay, how it will look? Maybe like after the research, when you go, there are some facts happening, and then you look and research on that. Okay, maybe like some certain qualities already exist, or prior to study, you have a some facts exist, and then you study after that. That's what ex post facto. Case study, it's obviously you are studying about a particular problem or a case. Experimental method means you are exhibiting a cause and effect relationship. Okay, you are exhibiting a cause and effect relationship in an experimental method. Usually, in the experimental method, we can have the manipulations of independent and dependent variable. Okay, it is possible. And survey research, it is actually the collection of information from a sample of individuals through their survey. Like you are collecting it and then analyzing it. That is what you call a survey research. When should be et al be used in the MLA style? So citations are very much important in research aptitude. MLA style. What is the full form of MLA? It is Modern Language Association. Okay. So Modern Language Association, you have one more style called APA. I think you know that APA is American Psychological Association style. Mostly like humanities background people use MLA style. Education and science people use APA style. And you have IEEE style called no, like it is mostly used by the engineers. Vancouver style, Chicago or Turabian style. You have Chicago is used by business people, fine arts, all those people. Okay, Chicago and Turabian. So that is the difference. Okay, different citation styles are there. So in MLA style, you should more know about MLA and APA. Okay. So in MLA style, et al. When there is used, so it is used where the source have three or more authors. Author of the source is anonymous. When the source has two authors, none of this. Yes, the answers. I have the answers in the chat box. Very good. Yeah, it's correct. When the source has three or more authors, that is when you use et al. That means et al. Means and others. Okay, and others. Et al. Means and others. So when the source or when a thing or a study have more than three authors, the et al. should be used. It is a Latin term et alia, which means and others. It is used in academic citations when referring to a source with multiple authors. Modern Language Association or MLA format is a style of crediting sources. You know that. Okay, that's what. Next one. In which of the following activities potential for nurturing creative and critical thinking is relatively greater? Participation in research conference, participation in a workshop, preparing research summary, presenting a seminar paper. So which one of the option that you think that you will have more potential to nurture the creative and critical thinking side? Maybe like think from your side. In which of these, when you participate or present something, you have more creative or we are more creative? Yes. Yeah, the answer is in a workshop, because in a workshop you are what is like, it is a playing or learning by doing method or learning by working method, activity method. So there itself you are more creative and you have a critical thing there. Not in a research conference, maybe you'll be more. So in a workshop, in a participant in a workshop, you will be more creative. That's the correct answer. Which is a formal reference to a published or unpublished source that a researcher uses for writing his or research paper. Which is a formal reference to a published or unpublished source that a researcher uses for writing his or her research paper. Is it citation, journal, manuscript, or tutorial? Yeah. Formal reference. It's very easy. The answer goes with citation. So formal reference is actually citation. You will be giving due credits. If you are not giving due credits to the the things which you have copied or from somewhere, it will be plagiarism. Okay, if you take somebody's work and then write here, obviously the credit should be given. So it is citation. That is, proper citation should be given. What do you mean by external validity? External validity in research refers to the rigor of the study, the accuracy of a procedure, the relation of the research problem with the researcher's personal life, the extent of generalizability that the results provide. Yes. External validity in research refers to the rigor of the study, the accuracy of a procedure, the relation of the research problem with the researcher's personal life, the extent of generalizability that the results provide. Which one that you will go with, the external validity? The answer is the extent of generalizability that the results provide. So what do you mean by external validity? It means that the factors that can affect the study must be controlled. That means externally, not part of the research, how it can be affected externally. Okay. And it also refers how it can be generalized, how the possibility of generalizability is there in a research. For example, if you conduct a research for 30 people, how it can be done for 300 people, or maybe like how it is useful for other 300 or 3000 people. That is what we mean by generalizability. So external validity means that is the people, or maybe a factor that is not part of the research. That is why you called it as external validity. In which type of research the steps have to be cyclic? Very easy. When you learn types of research, every time I will tell to my students or tell to the revision series and all, I will tell that this to be cyclic. And there is a difference in that both these terms, regarding with the cyclic part. Uh, for this type of research, the other name is also called some cycle of dash and all. That's what when I tell the answer, it is already there. Is it experimental research? Is it grounded theory research? Is it case study research, or is it action research? Yeah, the answer goes with action research. The other name is cycle of action. Okay, a cycle of action is the other name for action research. There is a process actually. For an action research, you investigate and then apply, and then simultaneously you check whether it is effective or not. If it is not effective, you apply the action again. Okay, you find the problem, you study, you act upon that, then you apply the solution. If it is not it is not satisfactory, you will reapply again. You will go no like you will reinvestigate again. That is a peculiarity of action research. So action research have to be cyclic. That's what. Yeah, it is a strategy that tries to find realistic solutions. Obviously, it is a realistic solutions. See, first a problem is identified, then some actions are taken, then how well the efforts worked are measured, and if the results are not satisfactory, the steps are applied again. See, grounded theory, it is actually what do you mean by grounded theory? It's actually you have some maybe like a situation is created, and then how you create a theory on that. Do you know about exit polls and all? Like after elections, we create exit polls. Exit polls are a very good example for grounded theory. That means after the election, we create a situation like which of the parties got most of the vote. Maybe like which of the parties are having a high probability to have a chance to win and all. So there is an exit poll. So from that exit poll, the medias make a theory on that, which one got maximum votes, or which one will be winning and all. They make exit polls. That is what you call as grounded theory. So from the situation created, they create a theory. That is what grounded theory research. Question number 9. There are two statements given. Yeah, I can see your answers on the chat box, guys. Good, very good. We're all chatting the right answer, right? You're telling the right answers. Given below are two statements. The statement one, qualitative research is an umbrella term to refer to various research strategies that share certain characteristics. The data collected have been termed soft. Statement two, quantitative research is mainly hypothetical and employs mostly statistical techniques. Is it both statement one and two are true, or one and two are false, or one is correct, two is false, one is incorrect, two is true? The option go with one and two are true. Obviously, qualitative is an umbrella term for all those research strategies that share certain characteristics. The data is soft, obviously rich in description. Quantitative, it is obviously hypothetically deductive and employs most statistical techniques. Next question. Yeah, both are true is the right answer. Yeah. What is a research design? A way of conducting research that is not grounded in theory. The choice between using qualitative or quantitative methods. The style in which you present your research findings, example, a graph. A framework for every stage of the collection analysis of data. Very easy question. When you read the question itself, no, when you read the option itself, you will get the answer. What is a research design? Yes, it's a framework for every stage of the collection and analysis of data. Okay. So research design means how you like how you are going to frame the research part. Maybe like which is the population or which is the sampling method, which is the data analyzing software, maybe like how will you write the citation. All those research design are a framework of every stage. That is what you go with research design. Next one. A variable that measures the effect of a manipulated variable is known as what? Is it confounding variable? Is it independent variable? Is it dependent variable? Or is it controlled variable? Yeah. What do you mean by confounding variable? Basically, what do you mean by variable that is affect the the variable which is manipulated is actually what we call as independent. The variable which that measures the effect is called a dependent variable. So, for example, if you eat more vegetables, you will reduce the weight faster. So eating more vegetables will be the independent variable. Reducing the weight will be the dependent variable, where you can measure the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. Okay, maybe like drinking alcohol causes cancer, or maybe like causes liver cirrhosis. Alcohol is the independent variable. How well the alcohol drinking is manipulated, you like your liver will be affected or liver cirrhosis. That is the dependent variable. And what do you mean by confounding variable? It is a variable that create confusions in the research process. Okay, maybe there will be an independent and dependent variable. Okay, and then there will be some variables which the researcher did not notice originally. Okay, that is what you call as extraneous variable. And then if that extraneous variable is affecting the research in a bad manner, or it is having some false correlation in the research, it is called confounding. Okay, every time I will tell an example in the classroom. It's a very comedy example. Maybe like I think that there is a boy and girl. They are both lovers. Okay, boy girl, and this girl is having a boy bestie. Okay, remember that. And initially when they started their relationship, this boy does not know, the boyfriend doesn't know that the girlfriend is having the girl is having a boy bestie. So at that time, this boy bestie is an extraneous variable. Okay, clear? And now after that, sometime this boy bestie was irritating the girl and telling that you don't want to obey boyfriend, or you don't want to go along with the boyfriend and all. You don't want to go like and hang out around boyfriend with boyfriend and all. And it created some confusions in the relationship. Okay, and then now the boy bestie became the confounding variable. Okay, understood? This is a very easy example to relate it with, right? So that is what you call as confounding variable. Okay, so I told you all those things. What do you mean by control variable? Control variable is a variable that is kept constant in study. That is what you mean by control variables. Okay, that is the explanation. I gave you all those explanation of dependent, independent, out. It's a very easy example also I gave you with confounding variables. Yeah, great. The next question, the ethical norms in research do not involve guidelines for dash. Ethical norms in research do not involve guidelines for is a data sharing policies, patenting policy, copyright, thesis format. Yes. The answer? The answer is thesis format, because data sharing policies, patenting, copyright, they have norms, ethical rules. Okay. For thesis format, there is not a prescription. It's a format is there, but no ethical norms or rules for that is there. For example, you cannot file a case against someone if the format is not right. There's a specific format for that, but obviously ethical norms are not there. That's what. So guys, that was the end of today's research aptitude session. I believe that you enjoyed a lot and you got a lot of information from research aptitude part and these revision sessions. I'll come with more and more revision sessions on paper one, study paper one very hard because this paper one is going to determine your scores and then you how you score the or pass the net exam and all.